A hero is only as good as their villain, but what makes a villain truly unforgettable? Some villains terrify us. Some make us question everything. And some, we secretly root for. Today, we're counting down the greatest movie villains of all time and breaking down exactly what makes them so legendary. Darth Vader is the ultimate movie villain, not just because of his imposing physical presence or his iconic breathing. It's the tragic journey that makes him unforgettable. Anakin Skywalker's transformation from a hopeful Jedi to a Sith Lord who believes in the greater good makes him one of the most complex villains in film. His fall to the dark side wasn't a quick decision, it was a slow erosion of his moral compass driven by love, fear, and loss. What makes Vader so powerful isn't just his strength or lightsaber skills, it's his inner conflict. You can sense the constant battle between his human side and the monstrous actions he's forced to carry out. His redemption arc in Return of the Jedi makes his journey come full circle, and it's that emotional depth that's part of what makes him so enduring. Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker in The Dark Knight is pure genius. This is a villain who's not driven by wealth, power, or revenge, he's driven by chaos. His only aim is to disrupt, to show the world how fragile the idea of order really is. What makes the Joker so terrifying is that he has no rhyme or reason to his actions, he thrives on unpredictability. This isn't a villain with a plan. This is a villain who wants to expose the darkness within all of us, to tear down the societal structures we depend on. It's not just about being evil for evil's sake, his philosophy is unsettlingly grounded in the idea that the world is inherently flawed and that he's just revealing it. Ledger's performance is haunting, with a chaotic, manic energy that gets under your skin. He's unpredictable in every sense of the word, and that's why he's one of the most memorable villains of all time. Hannibal Lecter is one of those villains who doesn't rely on brute force or grand schemes. What makes him so chilling is his calm, intellectual demeanor and the twisted charm he uses to manipulate those around him. Lecter is a psychiatrist, someone who is supposed to help people. But instead, he uses his intellect to prey on their weaknesses. His conversations are artfully crafted, each word calculated to make his victims, or even his captors, feel like they're in control, when in reality, he's always a few steps ahead. What makes Lecter so terrifying isn't his violence, it's his ability to get into your head. His psychological manipulation is so powerful that he can make even the most hardened FBI agent second-guess their own beliefs. He's the embodiment of calculated madness, and it's that brilliant combination that makes him so unforgettable. Thanos is a villain unlike most others because, unlike the Joker, he's not motivated by chaos or destruction for destruction's sake, he believes he's doing the right thing. His goal is to balance the universe by wiping out half of all life. To him, it's a necessary evil, one that will ultimately lead to peace and prosperity. The fact that he genuinely believes this makes him terrifying. He's not a madman, he's a villain with a clear, albeit horrific, purpose. Josh Brolin's portrayal of Thanos is chilling because of the way he carries himself, calm, methodical, and utterly convinced of his righteousness. His deep philosophical belief that the universe will be better off with fewer people makes him a villain with real depth, rather than a typical power-hungry tyrant. His tragic sense of loss and the willingness to sacrifice his own daughter for his mission only adds to the layers of his character. Some villains manipulate, some deceive, but the Xenomorph? It simply hunts. And that's what makes it one of the most terrifying creatures ever put on screen. The Xenomorph isn't evil in the traditional sense, it doesn't have a grand plan, a tragic backstory, or even emotions. It's the perfect organism, a relentless killing machine designed to stalk, adapt, and annihilate. Its sheer unpredictability, combined with its horrifying design by H.R. Giger, makes it one of the most nightmarish antagonists in film history. Unlike many villains who can be reasoned with or even defeated through conventional means, the Xenomorph turns survival itself into a horror show. The moment you see that sleek, black exoskeleton lurking in the shadows, you know one thing, it's already too late. Hans Landa is a villain who exudes power through intelligence and manipulation rather than brute force. Played brilliantly by Christoph Waltz, Landa is a charming, articulate Nazi officer who finds joy in hunting down Jews during World War II. His most unsettling trait is how calm and collected he remains throughout his brutal actions. Unlike most villains who rely on violence to instill fear, Landa uses conversation. His polite, calculated dialogue makes him even more chilling. Landa's motivations aren't necessarily rooted in a deep sense of ideological belief, he's more of a mercenary, taking pleasure in his power over others. This makes him not just a terrifying villain, but a deeply unsettling reflection of the way evil can sometimes appear as charming or even civilized. Agent Smith is the embodiment of the Matrix itself, a cold, calculating, and utterly emotionless program whose only goal is to eliminate all anomalies in the system, which includes the human race. What makes Agent Smith stand out is that he's not just a villain with a plan, he's a villain with a vendetta. Over the course of the Matrix trilogy, Agent Smith grows beyond his programming and begins to resent humanity. He becomes a rogue element, seeking not just to eliminate the Matrix's anomalies but to escape it altogether. His cold, detached personality and relentless pursuit of Neo, combined with Hugo Weaving's eerie performance, make him one of the most iconic villains in sci-fi. He's not driven by a desire for power but by an existential need to destroy that which doesn't fit into his worldview. The Wicked Witch of the West is one of those villains who's scary simply because she embodies everything we fear: her power, her malicious intent, and her ability to create obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. But what makes her so memorable isn't just her evil deeds. It's her personal vendetta against Dorothy, a young girl who she believes has wronged her. Her jealousy, anger, and desire for revenge make her one of the most iconic Disney villains. Her cackling laughter, her flying monkeys, and her burning desire for revenge create a character that lingers long after the movie ends. She's a quintessential villain, one whose motivations may seem simple, but her impact on generations of viewers has been undeniable. At first glance, Norman Bates seems like the shy, awkward motel owner who wouldn't hurt a fly. But that's exactly what makes him one of the most chilling villains in cinema history. Norman isn't just dangerous, he's deeply disturbed. His split personality, controlled by his overbearing mother, leads to one of the most shocking twists in horror history. Unlike traditional villains, Norman doesn't see himself as the killer. In his mind, it's his mother doing all the terrible things. This psychological depth makes him far more unsettling than a mindless murderer. What makes Norman Bates so legendary is how human he is. He's not a monster from another world, a supervillain, or an unstoppable force. He's a man consumed by his own fractured mind. That realism is what keeps audiences haunted long after the credits roll. Voldemort is the epitome of evil, cold, calculating, and completely consumed by his fear of death. What makes him unique is that he's a villain who is driven by one singular obsession: immortality. Unlike other villains, Voldemort's ultimate downfall comes not just from his actions but from his inability to comprehend love or the human connections that can lead to true power. He's someone who sees life as a means to an end, a tool to be used and discarded, and that single-mindedness makes him terrifying. Ralph Fiennes' portrayal of Voldemort is haunting. He brings the character to life with such cold menace that you feel the evil radiating from every scene he's in. But what makes him really memorable is that he's the dark mirror to Harry Potter, a hero who's driven by love, while Voldemort is driven by fear. And there you have it, some of the greatest movie villains of all time. Which villain do you think deserves the top spot? Are there any you think I missed? Let me know in the comments. And if you love movies, don't forget to subscribe, because we've got more epic videos coming soon.